Well, we've had a number of great musical artists on the program, and we've got one of the greatest that we've seen here on our stage, and that's Mr. Bobby Rush. And we did a three-part interview with him recently. This is the first part of that three-part interview. Bobby Rush, legendary bluesman, goes all the way back into the days of Muddy Waters in Chicago back in the 50s. We're going to have an exclusive interview, and we'll hear him play next.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Rice with Quinn Healthcare, and I believe in the power of exercise. Many patients ask me if they would develop high blood pressure or diabetes just because their parents did. I tell them that although we cannot change our genetics, we can control our diet and level of exercise. Simply making better choices can change your life. I'm Dr. Amanda Rice with Quinn Healthcare, and I want you to know that you are in control.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Well, welcome to Nightique. We've got Mr. Bobby Rush with us again. Bobby,
well, thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's a great.
Thank you for having me.
It's a great honor to see you and to talk to you again on the show.
Well, when I look back and talking to you now, from the time that you start talking, which was on the newscast with the news, you don't seem to be nervous now.
Well, that's true. We were talking about how nervous I was when I went on the air with the weather. Lord, I was shaking.
You know, when speaking about nervous, I don't know when I've been nervous, honestly. I don't know. I'm just a crazy old guy who think I can do some anything.
Were you a natural performer?
Well, I was.
I mean,
nervous.
you always have been.
I've been nervous about the band because I think they wouldn't play what I wanted to play, miss a note, or forget something to play. But for me, I was too crazy, too young, too out there to be nervous.
Before we went on, we were talking about, I guess, maybe one of your first experiences as a performer.
Yes.
Tell us that story.
Well, my first experience with the performers was a job I was trying to get with a rabbit foot, called a minister show. They travel all across the country. They was out of Gibson, Mississippi. I was about 13, maybe 14 years old. They came to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where my daddy was a pastor of a church. My daddy was a pastor of a church there in Louisiana, although my grandparents from here in Mississippi. But over there, the rabbit foot came to town, and my daddy being a preacher, I sneaked up to get me a job. And I had heard about they want some guitar players or somebody to perform as entertainers. So Elmo James, Boyd Gilmore, a bunch of these guys who I looked up to was there to get a job. So I saw Elmo James, the guy went in, when he came out, whatever he did in the back room, the two white guys said, "Hey, nice job. We'll call you when we need you." They go away, and these two guys will say, "Hey, that was terrible. We don't like that." After about a lady went in, they did her the same way. After 4 or 5 people went in, now these guitar players. Now I'm in my mind, I said, wow, I wonder can I play well enough? Do the guy to hire me? Because these pros just went in. So the man sat there and looked at me after everybody left. He said, "Boy, what you doing sitting here?" I said, "I'm waiting for an audition." "What you do?" I didn't tell him I played guitar because he just turned all the guitar players down. I said, "I do a lot of things." He said, "What? What you mean a lot of things? What else can you do?" I jumped up, I said, "The ham bone." He said, "You hired." He hired me on the spot as a ham bonus.
A ham bonus?
A ham bonus, yeah. They would come in, I had to do it 4 times a day, maybe sometime 5 for the weekend. and had the crowd build in. So, ladies and gentlemen, come on in, see the world's greatest hemp bone. And they get people come in, and I had the hemp bone, man. I, at that time, I was making good money. I was making $3.50 a week. Big money.
Was that one of the first on-stage experiences?
One first stage on-stage job I had.
Wow.
Of course, I had been playing at home on the homemade guitar the whole bit. You know, because I wasn't nervous because I've been used to playing the kind of thing I was going to play for them. But the ham-bone was a thing I did for my family, man.
It sounds almost like the story of Sammy Davis Jr. when he was with his daddy and then he'd bring him out to tap dance.
Yeah.
You know.
My dad was a preacher. He would go to church on Sunday morning. Quite nice. He took all the kids. That was the mandatory thing that we did. Go to church and come back about 1 or 2 o'clock. And he would go back to preach to service in the afternoon. Most of the time, we wouldn't go in the afternoon. That's when it was time for me to play the blues with my guitar. And my aunties and all the people around were drinking moonshine, man. And he would go up about 7 or 8 o'clock before the sun go down. The summertime sun would go down to about 8 or 9. And we could see this dusty road with cars coming up. So we would be saying, Wang, dang, doodle, all night long, all of them kind of thing. By the time he get near the house, we go saying, glory, glory, hallelujah. And everybody be drunk, man. My daddy come in, they try to set up the best they can. Oh man.
Did he ever
I
know?
was the soberest one in there, you know.
Did he know?
I don't think my daddy knew.
Because he was a pastor.
He was a pastor.
He wasn't expecting that.
He wouldn't expect that because we were singing. He come in with us. Oh, we were glory, glory, hallelujah. He see us do that. So y'all just go ahead on, kids. Y'all having fun. Y'all got it going on. God bless you. When he leave out of there, wang, dang, doodle all night long. Oh, that was wrong, but hey, we was having fun.
You know, we talked about when you grew up in South Louisiana.
Yeah.
And your memories of that when you were working as a young person on the farm, right?
Yeah.
But that was your own farm.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the black and white issue until I was a grown man. Because where I was and where I was raised up, my daddy who had the farm, if he didn't have the farm, he was renting the farm and he would go to people and say, listen, I contract this field. And he would pick it, or chop cotton, or strip cane, or whatever, do the whole field. So we had no contact with a black and white issue because the school was black, church was black, and everybody around me was black. I didn't know about no purchases stuff, you know. If you can see me and anybody ever know Bobby Rush, I don't have no chip on my shoulder about nothing or nobody. I'm just, here it is, you know. I didn't know about that. Then I got in Chicago, I found out some other things.
So what about Chicago? When you, as a young man, went to Chicago, what was that like? How old were you when you got to Chicago?
I was 17.
So there you are, 17
years
in
old.
a big city, coming out of the country.
Didn't have no mustache. Went bought me some shoe mustache, put them on so I could look like I'm 21.
And okay,
But you can get in the club though at 18.
What was the experience like there when you first got there and trying to get your career started in Chicago?
I thought I was in heaven already, man. I said, well, this is going to be the thing to get my career. But I've run into a brick wall, not getting work, or getting recognized, or getting paid for it, because J.B. Lenore, the late Muddy Waters, all them guys, kind of taking me under their arm and taking me out in the suburbs of Chicago and get a job like in Robin and Phoenix and places like that, which is just the suburb of Chicago. I remember the first gig, J.B. Lenore and was working on Wednesday and Thursday. He said, Bobby Rush, I got a job for Wednesday and Thursday that I don't want anymore. I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to talk to the boss and let you have this job. Well, I was glad to get a Wednesday and Thursday night. Pay me $5 a night, you know, me and the band, $20, you know, for 4 of us. And that was more money than I ever made, man. I was making $3 or $4 a night. So he took me to this place. He said, but now, I don't want to work here because I don't want to deal with the mark in the flow. I didn't know what J.B. Lenore was talking about. And Muddy Water was there. He said, well, Bobby Rush can deal with that because he don't know nothing about that prejudice and stuff. I didn't know what they was talking about. So when I got into the building, they had a mark on the floor that I stood in the mark with a curtain. And you had to play behind this curtain all night because they wanted to hear your music. but they didn't want to see your face. So I played. It didn't bother me in it, but it was bothering them because they knew about the black and white issue. I didn't know nothing about that. It was cool with me. I said, hey, I'm playing behind the curtain. I could play with my gown on or drawers on or whatever because nobody see me know it. I'm back having fun. And once I played so good, the guy said, well, Bobby Rush, I'm gonna give you a spotlight tonight. I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he was gonna put a big light on me. He gonna open the curtain up, let me take a bow. He opened the curtain, I took a bow, closed it right back up.
And most of the patrons in there were white.
99.5%. All and he did it a few times. He said, Bobby Rush, I'm gonna do it again tomorrow night, but we got to create another curtain. We don't want to see the band. Now they want to see me, but they didn't want to see the band. So they didn't want to see all the black guys who never been in the band. So I would take a bow after that, take a bow, close it up, but the band behind another curtain, they never saw the band.
Around what year was that? You remember?
Yeah, 53, 54.
Mm-hmm. Even in Chicago, it was like that?
Yes.
I'm surprised. I didn't realize it was like that.
Early 50s. Early 50s. But it didn't bother me again, because I didn't know anything about that. Paige, I didn't know anything about that.
So some of the people that were around the circuit in Chicago at that time, who was?
That time when I went to Chicago, we had Willie Dixon, the late Willie Dixon was there, Little Walter, Muddy Waters, Lightning Slim, and Lightning Hopkins had came and he left. But Jimmy Reed was there, but Jimmy Reed was over with VJ Records. It wasn't VJ at the time, it was CJ Records, Calvin Carter and Vivian Carter. And then later on, she got married to a guy from Gary, Indiana, had a record shop named Jimmy's Record Shop. When she got married to him, that's Jimmy. Now, Vivian got married to Jimmy. Now, it was BJ Records. Then come Jimmy Reed. And he was the first guy that really paid me for playing guitar. Because now, Jimmy Reed was an alcoholic, and he would drink, and he would give me $1.25, let me go buy some whiskey. And he liked me, and I liked him, but I would try to make him drunk as I could, because when he get drunk, he'll let me use his guitar. Well, quite naturally, now I'm going to make it drunk as I can, because every time he get drunk, he said, Bobby Rush, you play my guitar. And he was the kind of man who would let nobody touch his guitar, but he'll let me touch it, because I was going to get the whiskey, you understand? And I was going to get the whiskey, and when I found out he was about half till, I would take the whiskey bottle, put it half full, sometime a quarter, and put the rest of it in water. So I'll take that one bottle and sell it to him about 4 times. That's wrong, Jim. I'm sorry about that. But hey, man, I'll make it about $4 a day on Jimmy. Because I gave him the water. And he would tell me, he'd talk out of his nose. He said, Bobby Rush, you sure buy some good whiskey. Drunk on the fish, well, hey.
You did him a favor, because you kept him from getting over the board drunk.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. Be honest with you, I was just trying to give him as much as I could possibly give him without him falling completely out. But I want to get drunk enough so he could say, hey, you take my guitar. I tune it up, you play it, okay? And sometime I would play on the record, you wouldn't know it was Jimmy Reed. I play his line, you know?
Well, playing with all those guys, some of the old, some of the older classic artists of the blues genre, that's quite a history. But but Bobby, I mean, you go back to the original.
Oh, I go back to the original, man. I remember when we were doing a session B-Lo was a drummer, and he didn't show up. He had his snare, everything there but the bass drum. And I could drum a little bit. Jimmy Reed said, Bobby Rush, I bet you can drum for me. So they didn't have no bass. So I took a bunch of phone books and said, Calvin, I bet we can make some drum out of this phone book. Took a bunch of yellow pages and lined them up and go to B-Number. Oh, baby, top. And that's what you call, and after that, they cut, most of his record was cut on a phone book from that. Wasn't no bass drum. That's why you got the
kind of create a new sound.
Yeah, new sound. Accidentally, because B-Lo hadn't gotten that with the bass drum.
You think that that whole experience of being in Chicago, was that something that you think, I mean, when you look back on it, I mean, is that what gave you the impetus to?
I think what gave me, yeah, that was part of it, wasn't all of it. Being from Louisiana, you can hear this Cajun in me. Going to Arkansas, you can hear the country western in me. Going to Chicago, you can hear the mortified blues in me, the electrified blues in me. You follow me? And having all of these elements in me, it's almost like making soup. I love some Muddy Waters. I love some John Lee Hooker. I like Chicago. I love some New Orleans scenes and musicians from down in that area because I'm from that area. And when Lil Jordan, and my favorite, and when you hear all of these guys that I love, when you listen to my music, it's like a bowl of soup. You stick it all in there, you stir it up, and you get a Bobby Rush. A lot of elements come out of it.
And
so Chicago was one of them.
You remember, I know you must have, through the years, crossed paths with Little Richard. Tell us about Little Richard. I mean, you and he were peers in the music business, right?
Yeah, I remember Little Richard, myself and Joe Simon was doing the first show that I worked with him. I admired him so much. He was the big man. The opening show for Little Richard was the thing for me. And we went in a dressing room in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. The little joint was big. one of them juke joints, seat 200 or 300 people. At that time, that was big. We went in the dressing room, and the dress and the light was off on one side. Little Richard had a little light, but where we was dressed, it had no lights. And I put on a white shoe and a black shoe and walked on the stage. They thought I was the hippest guy in the world. They said, look at him, look at him, he hip. I looked down, and I just played it off. Black shoe and a white shoe. Because I couldn't see in the dressing room. I'm out on the stage trying to open up a Little Richard with a black shoe. And he said, man, you cool. You cool. It was a mistake.
Well, he had sort of a history of being around cool people.
But he thought I was cool.
That makes sense, yeah.
And so he really fell in love with me because he thought I was so cool. I just made a mistake. I didn't know what kind of shoe I had on.
Well, you know, I can remember the very first time. See, my uncles played music. My one uncle would play trumpet and one sang. And they weren't that much older than me because my mom was pretty young. So I remember being in my uncle's bedroom at my grandma's house in the farm in Amite, Louisiana, and I found in his dresser a picture of Little Richard. Yeah. And I was a little boy. And I had never seen such a thing before. His hair was straight up.
Powder
he had powder and makeup on. His hair was straight up. So I went and asked my grandma, who is that? She didn't know. But anyway, my uncles were fans of Little Richard. But that was my discovery of Little Richard. And you know, through the years, I've seen him a few times live.
He was the first man I saw on stage with the electrified show.
Electrified.
He was the king of the rock.
You know, a lot of people owe him Prince, some of the rock and roll
Prince
people.
But you know, even James Brown.
Brown.
I watched it. All Bobby Rush. I'm looking on and on and on. Little Richard set the pace because he was one of the first black guys who really crossed over.
He crossed over,
which we followed. Everybody crossing over, kind of followed his.
You remember, like in some of the old bebop movies, that the young teenagers were watching. Little Richard was on there performing.
He was on the performance,
and he was like crossing right over right there.
He was crossing right over. Then
That's right.
Then come a Chuck Berry, but Little Richard was the first one who made it big on the crossover.
He did.
Because Chuck Berry was right behind him. Then
it was really something. Bobby, we're gonna have some performance on our show tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have. I'm gonna do some guitar playing, some harmonica playing. Where we're just gonna have some fun, man.
Yeah, I mean,
this is your show.
Whatever you
your show
want
is
to do.
where the fun starts.
Well, we appreciate you being here. We're gonna be back with Bobby Rush after this.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
I had cracked teeth, crowns. My teeth were really, really bad. I started hearing about dental implant surgery. When I researched and saw what Clear Choice could do, I thought, maybe this is for me.
At Clear Choice, we bring hope to millions who suffer from missing or failing teeth with dental implants that look, feel, and function like strong, natural teeth.
All the specialists with all the technology they need are in one spot. It makes delivering this 21st century world-class dentistry very easy to do, and we do it in one day.
They can do something permanent that's always there. You never take it out, and it gives you that solid foundation.
Call today for your free consultation. We'll walk you through the entire procedure, including costs.
When those folks gave me the mirror and I looked at myself, these tears, it just makes you feel good. Clear Choice did that for me.
At Clear Choice, you're about to discover what you've been missing all these years. Call Clear Choice today.
My name is Bobby Rush. I'm better known as Sue's boyfriend. Been playing the blues now for 60 years. If I don't know what I'm doing now, I should. Let me tell you what they even call me sometime. You know they call me the Howling Wolf. You know they call me the Howling Wolf, 'cause I've been howling for my baby for a long, long time. Give me what I want, little girl, and you won't hear me calling for a long time. Sometime I get to howling, I dig a hole down in the ground. Well, sometime I get to howling, people. I dig me a hole down, down, down in the ground. Yeah, when I get to howling from a woman, well, I don't want nobody else around. I've been howling so long, it done made my tonsils sore. Hey, I've been howling so long, people. Well, it done made my tonsils sore. Give me what I want, little girl. You won't have to hear me howl no more.
I had cracked teeth, crowns. My teeth were really, really bad. I started hearing about dental implant surgery. When I researched and saw what Clear Choice could do, I thought, maybe this is for me.
At Clear Choice, we bring hope to millions who suffer from missing or failing teeth with dental implants that look, feel, and function like strong, natural teeth.
All the specialists with all the technology they need are in one spot. It makes delivering this 21st century world-class dentistry very easy to do, and we do it in one day.
They can do something permanent that's always there. You never take it out, and it gives you that solid foundation.
Call today for your free consultation. We'll walk you through the entire procedure, including costs.
When those folks gave me the mirror and I looked at myself, these tears, it just makes you feel good. Clear Choice did that for me.
At Clear Choice, you're about to discover what you've been missing all these years. Call Clear Choice today.
Well, Bobby Rush with us, and that program, as well as the other programs we've done over the last few months, are archived in their entirety in HD at nightique.com. That's NIGHTIQUE.com. See you next time.